with like, the inundation of like images on our phones is, with Instagram, Facebook, and everything. I mean, this is how we communicate. But there's a lot of pictures. You're constantly seeing pictures. So now with the Salah, it's like you see those pictures come up in your mind. Do you? I mean, is there a way to try to, I guess,
Clear.
expel that?
Crystal clear. Question says, with regards to social media, whether it's Instagram or other than Instagram, all of the pictures, the torrent of pictures, images, clips, and it's the way that we communicate, social media, so on and so forth. And when you come inside the salah, you enter the salah, many of those pictures and images still remain in your head. Is there a way of getting rid of them, so on and so forth? Jazakallah khairan for the question. It's just like we mentioned in the hadith and the explanation of Ibn Qayyim. You may see something and you may what? In the salah, it may stick in your head. So, first and foremost is you have to understand that in 2018, the world in which we live in, this is from the masa'ib. It's from the calamities of our time. Just like the Muslims who lived in the 8th century and the 5th century, they had fitan and certain things that they had to deal with. This is something that we have to deal with. And it's the way that it is. That's first and foremost. Does that mean don't do anything about it? Don't try? Of course not. But you have to be real and real with yourself. Number two is what? Or point three is that what? You have to look at your heart. And connected to the heart is the mind. The people of knowledge of the past, they used to differ on where is one's aql, one's mind, one's intelligence, and one's ability to reason. They differed. Some of the ulama of the past, they said it's not in the head. They said it's in the heart. They said the heart is the center of intelligence and reasoning. And others said, bel. They said, nay. Rather, it's in the head, the brain. Like modern science, or we say what? Mainstream modern science. Mainstream. You can agree on this? Well, I mean what? Mainstream, not all. And some of the ulama of the past, they would say that it's what? It's in the head, but it's directly connected to the heart. The point is that your mind, wherever it is, you got to look at it like a what? Like a funnel. You have to look at it like a funnel. A funnel. But not the normal way of the funnel, but the what? The opposite way. Small entrance, or we say what? No, rather the normal way. The normal way. It's a wide entrance, but what? Small exit. Wide entrance, but small exit. I.e., it's easy to look at something. It's easy to hear something. It's easy to enjoy an act or a statement or this and that. Getting it out of your mind is what? A whole different story. And subhanAllah, you look at the size of the funnel. What's the percentage of the entrance and the exit? How many times bigger? At least how many times? The smallest of funnels is the entrance and the exit is at least what? 5. We can agree at least 5 times bigger, 10 times bigger, let alone a bigger funnel. So your mind, oh, this is nice, or this brother's nice, or this sister's nice, and this and that, and this sound, and this music, and this beat, and this and this and this and this and that. It's easy to take it in. Getting it out of your heart and your mind is a different what? Different story. So be mindful. Limit the things. If you feel it's a fitna and there's so many pictures, then do what? Limit them. Limit them. And this is why some of the people of knowledge, they say, from the things which makes a person's memory weak is constant images and colors and pictures. And that's why people who live rural lives or live away from the city and all of the propaganda and advertisement, they normally have ability to memorize things more. They have the ability to memorize things more. And the same applies to Islam. If you're in the mountains, you're away from this and you're away from that, it's easy to what? Memorize because it's so much. So just be mindful of that. Ask Allah to protect you. Ask Allah to keep your mind safe in the salah. And it only comes with practice. You got to fight the idea, fight the view, and keep practicing, keep striving to concentrate and focus in your what? In your salah. Last but not least is the importance of learning the Arabic language. Just think how good you feel when the imam recites a surah that you know. Naam Khalil? You know the surah and you know what it means. You read the translation. Juz Amma. You read this. You get it. I get it. That's Nuh. The only word I understand the whole surah is Nuh, but I know he's talking about Nuh and this surah. Think how good you feel in the story. So just imagine and fantasize if you knew Arabic in and out. If you knew the tafsir of the Quran. Basic, in and out. Imagine how sweet the prayer would taste. Nothing that the imam says except that you what? You know what's going on. Just think about that. And Allah knows best. Yes.
Allah is nice.
Allah is nice. Yes, no question about that. Anybody else before we stop? Bashir. Basharak Allah bil Jannah. Fadda. Bismillah. 1 second, please. Sorry. Fadda. Tfadda. Bismillah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Jazakallah khair. Bashir, quickly, inshallah. Benefit is, we've noticed that when you obey Allah Azza wa Jalla outside of the Salah, Allah Azza wa Jalla repays you for your good service by giving you khushu' in the Salah. Jazakallahu khairan. Tfaddal. Question says, in light of the Quranic ayah, which is translated to mean, and then the Messenger of Allah, you certainly have a good example. And the Prophet asked for the curtain to be removed. Should it be a long-term project for the masjids to remove the decorative carpets and the walls and so on and so forth? The Prophet ﷺ is quoted to have said, and the hadith is narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas, collected by Imam Abu Dawood and others, which it states, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يتباهى الناس في المساجد. It says that the hour will not be established until the people compete and boast with each other on building masjids. And not necessarily building them, but painting them, decorating them, what's the highest, what's the biggest, what's this, and so on and so forth. So this is something that the Prophet ﷺ prophesied. He told us, and it's going to happen, it's going to take place. You telling a Muslim that the masjid, as Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was quoted to have said, أكن الناس من الحر والقر ولا تحمر ولا تصفر أو كما قال رضي الله عنه. He said أكن الناس. He says protect the people, keep the people warm and cool. It's freezing cold outside right now. What's the temperature? 13 degrees. Wind chill feels like what? Wahid, what's the name? 1 or 2, maybe 0. Naam? So the masjid is to keep the people warm. And when it's hot outside, to keep the people what? Cool, Omar said. He says, don't paint yellow, nor paint red. Or red or yellow. Meaning, have the masjid what? Basic. comfortable, providing the necessary things that the Muslims need to pray in a respectable environment. Anything other than that, Umar said what? Don't do. So get the average Muslim to think about this and to focus on this. It's like, as we say, trying to squeeze blood out of a rock. Trying to squeeze blood out of a what? A rock. The average Muslim is so far from the deen, so far from the basic teachings, from the sunnah, let alone the extra special things. It's unfortunate. They may curse you, say, get out. What do you know? Yeah, call you Wahhabi, you're this and you're that. Allahul Musta'an, yani. What can you do? If you have a masjid or your home, you try your best to sunnify it. Try your best to give them nasiha, give them advice. This is, I read this. I heard this in a lecture. This is the class. Give them advice. Try your best. But to make it a program and a plan, getting the Muslims to come to the masjid, which is a decoration in itself, is a victory in 2018. A struggle to get the Muslims to identify themselves as Muslims. That's a what? That's a struggle. It's a struggle. Allahul Musta'an. Any other questions? Fadl. After class. Question says, should a Muslim use the words Merry Christmas or Happy New Year's? No. Muslims shouldn't use these words and say these things. There's nothing wrong with saying have a nice day. Have a good one. You be safe. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's fine. But anything pertaining to the pagan, mushrik, holidays, drinking of alcohol, homosexuality, fornication, so on and so on and so forth, you shouldn't give them their what? Congratulations for those things and the reasons for those things. If someone says to you, Happy New Year's, say thank you. Have a good evening. You don't have to be rude and nasty. Islam commands you to be polite. But the Muslim is always supposed to keep his honor and his might. The Muslim is supposed to be superior. وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. To Allah belongs the glory, as the poet said. Also to his messenger and to the believers. But the hypocrites, they what? لَا يَفْقَهُونَ. They don't what? They don't comprehend. Allah knows best. طيب. How does one attain khushu'? First and foremost is to ask Allah for it. Secondly, is to realize the importance of what you're in, who you're standing in front of. You go to court. How do you go to court? You wear your pajamas in court, sweatpants in court. What's your hair look like in court? What type of shoes you wear in court? How do you stand? How do you talk? How do you feel? And most importantly, what do you call the judge who's ruling with other than what Allah has sent down? You call a judge who's enforcing man-made laws, which are oftentimes, the lights are good, no problem. You can cut off if you want. We used to have the lights off when we had the projector screen. That was some years back. I don't think too many brothers remember. Now, Khalil? We should say cut off the lights. Get us in the mood to study. You know? You guys must have forgot about that. You remember, Sheikh? That was a good 2-3 years ago. At the end of the day, this judge that's going to enforce these laws and rules that are man-made, that are oftentimes oppressive and tyrannical, you call the judge your honor. You smile at the judge, you speak at the judge, you make sure you're dressed, you're clean, you're smelling good in front of the Taghut judge. Because you know the importance, the seriousness, and the danger of what you're involved in. The judge feels disrespected, you're lying, and this and that can be detrimental to you. So think about the salah. You're standing in front of the King of Kings, Ahkamul Hakimin, the wisest of the wise, the greatest of the great. So think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His names and His attributes, His qualities. Also from the ways of attaining khushu' in the salah is to learn and to study the basic tafsir. Everyone's not going to be a scholar. Everyone's not going to be this stupendous, awesome, marvelous student of knowledge scholar. Everybody can't do that. But what I can do is read the tafsir of part 30. What I can do is know when Allah talks about Ad and Thamud, wa-shamsi wa-duhaha, wal-qamari idha talaha, wal-nahari idha... You know what that means by the sun. You know, was-sama'i wa-tariq. You read the tafsir of the basic surahs. So when you hear it, even if you don't understand Arabic, and you haven't read Ibn Kathir, you don't know tafsir of Baqarah, you know what Allah is saying when the Imam recites, was-sama'i dhatil buruj, li'ilafi Quraysh. And then you have the ability to read more tafsir, and read more. How many videos online on tafsir? You could spend all day, literally, from morning to night, watching YouTube videos on lectures and classes, and you wouldn't have enough time to watch all of them, let alone learning from the basics of the Arabic language. These are ways of obtaining what? Khushu'. Also, is your pregame. Make wudu, a fresh wudu when you pray. Make a perfect wudu. Brush your teeth. Put on the right clothes. Get in the mood for prayer. As we said about the football, the pregame. You practice, you study. You play baseball. The pitcher never ever gets on the mound in a game. Never. The pitcher warms up. The catcher and the pitcher, they walk away from the rest of the team that's practicing. The pitcher and the catcher have an intimate relationship, and he warms the pitcher up. When the pitcher is doing bad, they call the what? The bullpen. And he starts what? Warming up. Before they get ready to yank him out, they warm him up to get into before the actual game. Very important concept, guys. And Allah knows best. Next question says, will your classes be every Friday? Only Allah knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Neither do you know. We hope that Allah Azza wa Jalla will make it easy and possible and feasible for the brothers and sisters at Masjid Taqwa to invite us to the masjid. May Allah make it easy for them to be welcoming. I mean. Any other questions before we stop? Any questions online? Any other questions before we stop, guys? Bismillah. Okay.
I find it hard to ignore
People.
stories or questions about Islam and also how to remove the Christian mindset.
Okay.
What she's saying is like
Clear.
exploring-
Crystal clear. With regards to a new shahada and finding it difficult to ignore ignorant people, nasty people, we're getting pulled. Time. Sorry, we gotta pray, sister. Maybe we can answer the question online. Inshallah, HadithDisciple.com. Assalamu alaikum. We gotta stop shaking. Salat. It's no time. I mean, right?
I'll do it. I'll let you know because you try. Listen. Assalamu alaikum. Imam Siraj is the imam of this masjid. Everybody know that, right? Imam Siraj said this brother can come every Friday if he wants to. He's welcome. Open invitation. Okay? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah khairan. Tayyib. With that being said, but the difference between me and you, Khalil, is that I'm not going to use no dirty tricks. I'm not going to involve Imam Siraj in this. It's between me and you. At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, before we stop, at the end of the day, two things, inshallah. Two things, briefly. Number one, something we explained before, and this has nothing to do with me, but this is a general rule. The scholars of Islam say that it's permissible to delay Salat al-Isha if there is a benefit for the people. The people are tired. The people haven't yet come to the mosque. The people need to do something and need a little bit of extra time. Let alone if there's a spiritual benefit for the people's souls. If the Prophet allowed Isha to be delayed for someone's sleep, someone's food, someone's drink, someone washing up, then what would the Prophet say about the Prophet or someone's what? Heart being washed and fed. So let's not forget that. Number two is what? With regards to ignoring ignorant people, then you got to know why ignorant people are ignorant. People that talk about Islam, they either talk about Islam because they're jealous, but they're too wretched themselves to accept it. Or they talk about Islam because they think that something is Islam which isn't Islam because of the media or cultural practices. So no one in his right mind who's wise is going to talk about Islam. As Allah says, وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. He says no one will want other than Abraham's religion except for an absolute fool. So you know that the person who's talking and barking and screaming about Islam doesn't really know what he or she is talking about. And if that person is a fool, then the fool doesn't deserve an answer, nor do he deserve a what? A response. Number two is what? Take that negative energy, that anger, that new zealous feeling you have as a new Muslim, and push that for you to learn more. And you may have to answer someone or respond to someone through writing, at school, at work, at the dinner table with your Christian grandmother or your this or your that. So use the negative energy and allow it to force you to study and learn what's correct yourself. And don't allow the negative energy to make you feel bad and low. And also realize that Muhammad ﷺ told us, وَلَا تَسْمَعُنَّ مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا أَذًى كَثِيرًا. Allah says, and indeed you will hear from the Jews, the Christians who got the book before you, and the polytheists, you will hear أَذًى كَثِيرًا, abundant curse and slander. So when you hear someone talk about Islam, it should increase you in what? Faith. Because it's in the Quran that it would happen and would take place. That's in brief. Unfortunately, we run out of time. Jazakumullahu khairan.